Hi, I'm Natalia Nicholson, founder of Women in Digital Business, where we empower underrepresented women to thrive in the digital world.
Welcome everybody to our first Lunch and Learn Masterclass. It's an absolute vibe to have you here. So this is the first time we are going live inside our community. We usually use your Zooms, your Google Meetups. Women in Digital Business does have their own community, and if you come inside, there'll be masterclasses like this. There's resources where you can get mentoring from Dell. There's funding consultation. There's a podcast where we put a spotlight on a Black female entrepreneur every week through our newsletter. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel. This masterclass is going to be coming to you every single week at midday. They're lunch and learns, and they're going to be an array of topics from personal development, mindset to digitalization. You know, what I do is really help businesses and women put together a digital strategy to be able to be successful to sell online. But there's many things that goes into setting up your own digital business. Like I said, we'll be covering the personal development, goal setting, looking at technology, software, strategies, but really essentially being able to help you build a business in today's digital world that's going to really take you to that next level in terms of what it is that you want to achieve. So that segue is actually really nice, because that leads me into what we're going to be talking about today. And it is really around goal setting. It's really about how do we become victorious in what we do. And it does start off with the right mindset and kind of eliminating those roadblocks and being able to see clearly. Because if you can't see clearly on where you're going, you're not going to be able to get there. It's like reading a map in the dark. And do we remember the days of an A to Z? There was no Google Maps then. And business is very much like an A to Z. My name is Natalia Nicholson, for those of you that don't know me, and I am the founder of Women in Digital Business. And today I really want to look at just breaking through barriers and unlocking growth and innovation. We are new with our software inside our community. For innovation is no different to the fact that blockbusters couldn't accept that the marketplace was changing, and people didn't want to suffer all the late fees, and they wanted to be able to watch and enjoy films. Netflix, which was Love Films, came up with that. Innovation was understanding that the market had changed. When we look at innovation in the digital sense and in technology, innovation is actually about figuring out how can I make things more convenient for my end user in terms of their lifestyle as the world's changed. That's all it is. And sometimes we make it more complicated than what it actually needs to be. So, when we talk about innovation, every great business always begins with a really bold vision. But often mental roadblocks really prevent us from, it becoming a reality. We get in the way of our own selves. So this lesson today is really going to equip you with the tools to transform your mindset and really propel your success. So what are you going to take away from this session? Today, I want to give you some clarity, a clear understanding of mental barriers that could be holding you back and how you could start your journey to overcome them. I want to give you vision, a compelling, actionable vision for your business growth and innovation. When you've got vision, that's when you get really excited. It's January. So far, I've gone to book 2 holidays, all because in my mind, innovation, I can see myself lying on the beach and being in an all-inclusive and drinking loads of wine. But that vision in my head is what pulls it into reality. And we're able to do it when it comes to, well, speaking for myself, more self-indulgent topics. But when it comes to achieving it actually within our own business, when there's so many facets to it, sometimes that vision becomes really blurry and we can't actually see where we want to go. What sits in the middle of all of this is strategy. So we're going to look at some proven frameworks like the profit multiplication framework to really grow customers, revenue and profits. Sometimes these subjects seem really boring to us. We think, maths, and we forget that they are actually soft subjects as well. We have to look at the strategy. Strategy is actually what's going to compel you to that next level of your journey. And we're going to look at tools, practical techniques such as preferred reality conditioning and just mental rehearsals. How do we rehearse mentally within our mind? And we forget that they are actually soft subjects as well. We have to look at the strategy. Strategy is actually what's going to compel you to that next level of your journey. And we're going to look at tools, practical techniques such as preferred reality conditioning and just mental rehearsals. How do we rehearse mentally within our mind? It's all great watching The Secret and talking about, I can visualize a parking space, but how do we actually understand and do mental rehearsal? It's something that you have to teach yourself. It's not natural. Okay? And we want to look at confidence, just mindset and motivation to break through the barriers and build a business of your dreams. quite a lot of us, especially Black female entrepreneurs, we don't have that confidence within ourselves, or we want to drop our rates just to get our full in. Everything always feels like a compromise. We always feel like we've got to dim our light in one area or the other. Okay, so today, done the introduction, we're going to start off with looking at silent sabotage. That's it. Crafting a clear vision for growth, the profit multiplication framework, strategies for customer growth, and just boosting revenue and maximizing profits. And you're going to see how mindset, personal development relates to your business. If you can't get that part right, it's like you're building your business on a really weak foundation, like a house of cards. So we want to talk about overcoming growth challenges, and we just want to look at your path to success to conclude with. So one of the things that I really want you to do is think about right now, get a pen and paper, get your phone. I want you to think about, what do I want to achieve in 2025? And I also want you to think about your longer term goal. Sometimes it's quite difficult to understand. You know what you want, but it's really difficult to chunk that out in terms of, okay, if I want this big thing at the end of the rainbow, what is it that I have to do this year in 2025 to start making those steps? And I want you to really think about, what are your bigger goals? What is it that you want to achieve from now to in any particular time? What's that one thing that you want to get to? And the problem with that is that we have saboteurs that come up and they act as mental roadblocks. So things like procrastination, unclear focus, having that past-orientated thinking, it can just lead to missed opportunities, wasted resources, and it just stalls progress. And like I said, a lot of the times we're getting in our own way, we're sabotaging ourselves. So what we want to look at is the opportunities. We want to identify and address the barriers that we have. And that's when really you can start to unlock your full potential and accelerate your business growth, because you're taking yourself out the picture. You're not we put ourselves as obstacles. So let's move on and let's break some major roadblocks down together today. So procrastination is one of them. Procrastination can be a silent killer of business growth. As ambitious entrepreneurs, it's really crucial to recognize the signs before they derail your progress. So I just want to unpack some of the common symptoms. Like, some of mine are actually like excitement. That might sound really bizarre to you. Sometimes I get so excited about something. I'm sure I've got ADHD, by the way. I get so excited about things, I can't focus or concentrate. I'm so busy thinking about the end goal and what it could possibly mean and the bigger picture. I can't get my mind straight to figure out, what do I need to get back to get this big thing that I'm excited. So I procrastinate. I'll think, I did it this morning. I got really good news and I thought, let me celebrate the coffee break. I got really excited thinking about, where this opportunity that came in could possibly go. And I couldn't get myself together to think, okay, what do I need to do right now? Because right now here at Women Digital Business, we're crazy busy. And that puts me on the procrastination wheel. It can be many things to many of us. And, please do put them in the chat. It's down to, here's one, the gym. The gym's a big one for me. I just like going in the morning, and if I can't get out in the morning, because I've got to get the kids ready and I've got early morning meetings before I might start training or speaking, that's the reason why I can't go to the gym. It's an excuse. And the only person that's responsible for my personal schedule and making sure that I can fit the gym in, which I know generally makes me feel better and is great for my health, is actually me. Sometimes we've got the habit of blaming things and blaming people and always pointing that finger, but there's always three fingers that point back at yourself. And you do have to take that, put the big girl pants on and take accountability and really figure out, what do I need to change? And that's when we need to look out for red flags. One of the best ways to get past procrastination is just like, don't make the excuses, start to own it. Own it. Always best to call yourself out. Never feels that great to be called out by someone else. Consistently avoiding important responsibilities. That's another one we do. The gym is a really important responsibility. So is eating well. Without your health, you're absolutely nothing. Giving yourself enough time to be able to breathe so you're not suffering from anxiety of all the things that you've got to do. Not that self-talk that puts yourself down and convinces yourself that with all the other things going on, you're not going to be able to move forward. We all know ourselves, and getting to know yourself is an evolving journey. So you really need to tap into yourself and ask yourself right now, like, what are your red flags? What are the things that you make excuses for? What are the blaming external factors for lack of progress? You know, that feeling overwhelmed, what it does is it makes your priorities and things that you've got to do really, really unclear. So the thing you want to do is make sure your mind is clear, but you need to understand what are your red flags that bring you off track. And I promise you, when you actually really accept it and you've got acceptance within yourself, the fact that you are aware of something and you're taking accountability, a shift starts to happen and you start to change because you're aware. Does that make sense? Like, just being aware and like owning up and being honest with yourself actually makes you check yourself more often, and it does get you out of procrastination. But, you know, clarity is definitely the conundrum that a lot of us have got. So when it comes to unclear focus, you know, there's a few things that you can really do to make sure that you're more focused. Because when you're not focused, it has a ripple effect. Just like when you're focused, it has a ripple effect. So we need to get the right focus. So, you know, without clear priorities, it's really easy to pull off important tasks. Okay, you all have heard probably about important and urgent tasks and what the difference are. So you really need to understand, what are my priorities? Like for 2024, I went in, ladies, I went in. I said to myself, do you know what? I'm not spending too much time on a task unless it's actually bringing me monetary value, because I knew I needed to break a ceiling height last year. And to get to where I wanted to be, there was a certain amount that needed to be brought in. So my focus, to fuel that focus, was how much money is this task making me, will determine, you know what, how much time I'm going to spend on it. And I'm not saying it's always going to be transactional. Okay, there has to be that element of emotional intelligence in there, because it's not just black and white. And that's what us ladies are good at. We're good with grey areas. You know, decision paralysis, too many options, no clear direction can lead to inaction. And this is also the shiny object syndrome. I'm classic of this. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, as an entrepreneur, you feel like having many different streams of income is the best way to secure your place as an entrepreneur and give you financial freedom. However, if you've got too much going on, you just simply cannot focus on it all. And the more options you've got means more work to do to exercise these options, to implement them, whatever the case may be. You know, resource drain, time and wasted on essential activities. You know, now if I don't have a particular vibration, I try to minimize low vibrations around me. Okay, I try to just fuel my environment so I don't have a resource drain of being around positive energy, being around people, environments, situations that are positive vibration that lift me up. You know, this is not the Care Bears, so you're never going to get that 100%. But again, being aware of it, especially as we're at the beginning of the year, I'm telling you what, just understanding I don't need my energy drained is going to do a lot for you, and understanding that I need to stay in that, you know, upbeat, really positive place. And that's what our community is about. Okay, motivation killer. It's hard to stay driven when you're unsure of what your destination is, and it takes many of us a while to find out what our destination is. You know, it took me pretty much nearly 40 years for me to really understand, like, what is that clear destination that I'm driving to. I always knew I was driving towards success. Okay, we know we want to be successful. We know by any means necessary, I've got to get out of this situation. But it is hard to stay driven when you're not really sure about how you're going to get there. Guess what? You've just got to get in the car and keep going. The plan will come clearer and clearer. As long as you're doing something, little by little, you build your power. And it's key to stay motivated. Read stories of inspiration. Through my whole entrepreneurial career, reading biographies, reading about stories about my culture, reading of people, historical events, going from, you know, a nothing to absolute greatness is the best fuel you'll ever get. At 14, I read the biography of Harriet Tubman, and that changed my mindset alone. If she could do that, and if our people went through that, I can do what I want to do. That definitely gave me grit, and it gave me tenacity. So make sure that you stay motivated. So just a quick check-in of understanding how clear focus impacts business growth. I just want you to consider the question below. Having an unclear focus always leads to immediate failure in business. True or false? And it's false. And we all know that failing is the best way that you're going to learn. Sometimes for those of you that feel like it's always up against you, it's always something, why can't it be me? Please understand that everything in your journey, everything that you're doing, failures that you've gone through, they're just preparing you for something greater, or something that you've actually manifested and you don't even realize it. Okay, it's really, really key to stay in that type of mindset. Okay, so thought patterns in terms of decoding away from mental barriers. Like, how do I get away from all of these mental barriers? Okay, and this is really, really key. Sorry, ladies, I've moved something on my screen. Perfect. Sorry, I thought I'd missed a slide out. I haven't. All good. So, we want to decode thought patterns. So many of us spend too much time focused on the past, which can hinder our progress. So I just want to explore some techniques to really analyze and shift your thinking. We have on average 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. Okay, this is scientific investigations that have been done. So we have an average of 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. We spend 90% of the time thinking about things of the past. And they can be triggered by so many things. You might have seen a social media post. You might have read something that you can relate to. It takes you back to your childhood. It takes you back to, ill treatment. It takes you back to people telling you can't do something. It takes you back to a time where maybe you even suffered shame, or it brings you back. Life's got this funny thing that the brain always seems to be able to plug into the things that, where we feel strong emotions. And those strong emotions can often come from a negative place. Or not so much negative, we can just draw on incidents that meant a lot to us or had a really big impact or scarred us. So the brain tends to go back to the past. What you really want to do to get ahead as an entrepreneur and to get yourself in the right mindset for you to be able to have that successful business, have that financial freedom, have the goals that you want, is to actually try and start thinking more about the future and living in the now. Living in the now is actually quite difficult. You see, I love thinking about the future because I think about all the things that I'm going to achieve. And that's what pulls me out of thinking to the past. As far as I'm concerned, how I've got an alter ego. Who I was in the past isn't who I am now. So it makes it easier for me, I feel, with that, to be able to really look into the future. Living in the actual now and enjoying a moment that you might have dreamed of. How many of you have gone booked a dream holiday or done something you've always wanted to do, and the day that you're doing it, the mood that you might be in or what you might be thinking about in the past or something that might have happened means that you're not living in the now for the very thing that you've been dreaming of and you always wanted to do. That's why many of us will say, it doesn't feel like how I thought it would feel. Okay, so mental mastery is really, really, really important, if that makes any sense. And one of the big things to get over that is stop thinking about the past, stop thinking about any past mistakes, any failures, take from those learnings and really think to yourself, how am I going to get to where I am now to where I want to be? Okay, and make sure you've got that clear focus. So past-orientated thinking keeps us anchored to what's behind us and, dwelling on failures, regrets or missed opportunities, while future-orientated thinking shifts your focus to what really lies ahead. So you really want to be clear on your vision, your goals, the endless possibilities could be waiting for you. And it's just accepting that you deserve it. You can do it. Okay, so let's explore what are the ways to make this much needed transition of being that future orientated. Okay, so you want to identify past orientated thoughts. Set aside 10 minutes to really reflect on your recent thoughts about your business. So if you are going to think about the past, you be in control. Okay, I don't know if you understand what I mean, that you be in control what you're going to think about, and you don't want to pull out on the things that don't make you good about yourself. So think about the things that you're proud of. Reflect on the things that have been going great in your business, great within your life, that's going to bring you to where you want to be. Create a vision board. We're living in the digital age, ladies. We can get Pinterest, there's apps. I think Charmaine's on this call. Feel free to give advice on, how to create vision boards, how to use images, how to use social media. You could even control what comes up on your feed. I'm really strict. I don't actually even follow that many people that I know, if you really want to be honest with you. Anybody that's a friend of mine knows that I'm not even that present on social media, but actually I am on social media. If you go through my Instagram feed, you'll see inspirational coaches on there, inspirational communities. You'll see things about health, about fitness, about mindset, things that give me the good vibration that I'm speaking about. So I'm very intentional about who I follow. So create a vision board, whether it's a physical vision board that you're going to make, an app you're going to use, something digital. Your social media channels can even act as your vision board. Okay, you control what it is that you're going to see, listen to, and how you're going to represent yourself, and how the words that you're going to use. Okay, and these all align to your business goals. So practice daily future visualization. Spend 5 minutes each morning imagining your business success in detail, imagining your success in detail. And sometimes I think people struggle with this because it's quite a big thing. So I'll give you some advice on how I do it. So I think about my Stripe account, and then I'll think about seeing all the 7 figures in there. I think about opening my Kajabi software account. I think about all the sales that will be made in my sleep when I log in the morning. You know, all my advertising accounts, the conversion rates are going to be really great, giving me my cost per customer a really great price, like £1. You know, my Stripe account's got money in there. Really think about, does that make sense? Think about how you are right now. For those of you that might be struggling with money, like what that feeling is, where it's like, crap, I've only got this amount left in my account, but I've still got to do the food shopping. I've got these bills. I've had to invest in my business and now juggle things around. You know, as an entrepreneur, these are all things that we suffer from. But so flip that on its head, reverse engineer that, and think about what it looks like when you go into your account and you see certain figures. How does that make you feel? It makes you feel secure. It makes you feel like you can plan ahead in life because you've got the breathing space to do it. So really spend 5 minutes, not just saying, I want to be rich, I'm going to be rich, my business is going to be great. You have to play it out. You know, Shakespeare says what's happening on the screen of your mind is a reality of what's about to happen. So implement a present moment bell, like, you know, set random alerts 3 times a day in your calendar. You know, when it when it rings, take a deep breath and really focus on your current task. That's a really good technique to live in the now. Like, boom. And it's like, okay, I need to be in this moment. I need to be present. And that works whether it's work or personally. And, you know, end of day reflection. I actually have a morning reflection in my calendar every morning at 9 a.m. to 9:15. I actually block it out. It's just a reflection of, okay, what do I need to get done today? What are the important? What are the urgent? What can I realistically get done? What have I got to do with the kids in house? When am I going to cut off? So it's almost like my time just to look at the day and kind of recenter. And by doing that, it just means that I'm moving, I'm prioritizing. So these are some of the things that you can do to really shift from the past into the future. Okay, so tools like mindfulness, thought journaling, future visualization can really help you break free from limiting patterns. One of my most favorite books is The Miracle Morning. Please do check it out. Princess, if you can put a link in the chat, that would be absolutely amazing. Miracle Morning is a system of really getting you to be focused on what you need to do and achieve all the things that you want to do. There's a part in the morning that is really quiet, it's silent, and it's yours. And when you use that time, the most amazing things happen. It's an absolutely fantastic process and book. So please do check it out. So keys to breaking the barriers, strategies of success. We want to set clear, achievable goals. Okay. We want to break down big visions into smaller, manageable steps. Like I said, you've got this big vision, but the small things that you need to do to get to that big goal and that big vision, that's the bit where it's kind of like, okay, I don't know where to start. And because we don't know, we're not sure, we go back into procrastination. And that's actually where strategy comes in. If you strategize, you get to answer all of those questions, which makes you feel, you do. When you strategize and you plan correctly, you get this feeling of, I know I've got this is going to work. It's a bit like going for a job interview and you know you've got it. When you've got a plan and you've got a strategy and you know it's going to work, you just feel this, like you get that excitement because you just know it, because you can see it. We just finished an Empower Her program. I think, Josephine, you're on the call with us today. Feel free to put in the chat what it is that we achieve putting together that strategic chat, that strategic plan for your business, just in terms of setting clear, achievable goals. So you want to break it down. You want to understand, what am I got to do every day? What have I got to do every week? What have I got to do every month? What is the annual goal? So you've got to break it down into those tiny, tiny little steps, but they're all steps that's leading to the bigger steps. And that's how we really get to set clear and achievable goals, by breaking it down. into smaller manageable steps. Developing that solid action plan, exactly what I was just talking about, strategy. Create a roadmap with specific tasks and deadlines. And just remembering those SMART objectives. I know you all know them. We all know what SMART objectives is. It's all about being, specific, especially in this digital age. There's so many different channels and noise out there. You need to be specific with your audience, because one message can't just target absolutely everybody. Okay, so it's really important that you break things down, that you really understand them at their simplest level and understand, what do I need to do to get to this first touch point, this first goal. Okay, so having that roadmap is really, really important, especially for specific deadlines. So being specific, going back to SMART, nearly lost my trail there. So we've got being specific, being able to measure. The digital world gives you access to data. You don't have to guess anything anymore. So it's really important that you understand how you're going to measure something, to understand and know, well, how well are you doing? Is it attainable? Is it achievable? It's all very well saying this year's the year I'm going to go from minus to 7 figures, but is it realistic with the resources you've got? Is it realistic with the skill set that you've got? I'm not saying it's unrealistic, because people have done it, but is it realistic for you with what you've got around you? And if it's not, what would you need to do to change that, to make it more realistic? Okay, it's all about, is it attainable? Only you can answer that question. Is it actually attainable, or is this so far away? Sometimes we set the goals so high, they can be unattainable. So is this attainable, and can it be done in a timely manner? When you really do follow SMART goals and objectives, it does make a huge difference, by the way. I know for many of us, it's something we might have learned in education or within the workplace, and it's just seen like one of those, Maslow hierarchy of needs that you just know. But if you're not implementing it, if you implement it, you'll see huge impact from that alone. Okay, managing emotions, learning techniques to handle stress and self-doubt. It's really funny. One of my best ways that I manage emotion, I've actually got the message here in my office, and it says, learn to pause. Pause when you're angry, pause before you judge, pause before you assume. So my thing of how I manage my emotions is to pause. If I feel an emotion, especially a negative emotion, I want to neutralize that, take some time out. I won't respond to something in that state of mind. So learn techniques to handle your stress and self-doubt, and just make sure you're balancing work life. Ensure you're recharging to maintain, which is not always easy as an entrepreneur, and actually sometimes, to be quite frank, unrealistic. But again, if you know it and you're being accountable for it, it's in the back of your head and it's in your mind. When the time comes, you will take it. Awareness is absolutely everything. So to have that crystal clear focus, develop a razor sharp vision for your business, know exactly what you want to achieve and why it matters. This clarity will guide your decision and actions, just keeping you on track even when challenges arise. You've got to prepare yourself for the challenges. Life is not a bed of roses. So I think when you go into business and you continue your business journey, embracing that and knowing that, it just means that you're more ready for the bumps in the road. And like I said, you can pause. So, quick quiz time. Which of the following is not an effective strategy for breaking through mental barriers in business growth particularly? Is it practicing mental rehearsal techniques, thinking about that bank balance, thinking about it going up? Is it setting clear, achievable goals? Is it focusing primarily on past successes? Is it developing a solid action plan? And definitely not an effective strategy is that focusing primarily on past successes. Even if they are the past, we want to leave the past in the past. Makes sense? We want to really gear towards the future. Anything that you would have learned from your past, even the successes, they're in your Google. Your brain is a Google. You will pull on information and things when it adds that you need it. Okay, so you really want to empower your mind, elevate your business. So breaking through mental barriers really unlocks your business's true potential as your mindset shapes reality. You are your business. When you first start a business, your business is born out of you. I never remember one time I was in San Diego, and a branding coach said to me, you know what, Natalia, what makes you fascinating? And I'm a talker. So, when you go to answer something, then you think, actually, what does make me fascinating? What makes you fascinating? Whatever your woo is, whatever the thing about you is. Well, actually, that's actually what your business is going to be based on. That's what you're selling. Your business culture, as you grow it, it's born out of you. It's like having a child. Okay, so it's really important that you get your mind right and you understand what it is that you want to do. That's where you're really going to shift your mind. And by doing that, that's how you elevate your business, because you remove the limitations of your own business. You understand and know what it stands for because you understand yourself and you know what you stand for. So you've also got to understand that we do procrastinate, and that's what holds us back. So by recognizing procrastination, that's it, that flowed a little better. Clarifying your focus, shifting to future orientated thinking and taking consistent action, you're really going to lay the foundation for extraordinary growth. I just think opening up your mind and become a learner will do so much. So I just want to talk about preferred reality conditioning. It's your secret weapon for business success, if you want me to be honest with you. It's all about creating a crystal clear vision of your dream business and aligning your actions to make it happen. And some of you might struggle with this. I definitely did, by the way. I understood what I wanted to do. I understood what my business was, but it actually took me a long time to have that clear vision of understanding my business actual model and how I was going to deliver what I know that I'm good at. So I understood what I'm good at. I understood that I love speaking to people. I understood that I like teaching, training, coaching. I understood that I'm really good at strategizing and building out sales funnels. But I didn't understand how to package that together. And sometimes that can be your blocker for a clear vision. So again, with some of this, you might feel like it's not, that doesn't necessarily apply for you, or you've not been able to answer it. So I wanted to kind of dig deeper in today's masterclass, to have that crystal clear vision of your dream business and to be able to align it with your actions. You might feel like, well, actually, I'm not crystal clear on exactly what the business is offering, and it's okay to be there. You now know, okay, what do I need to do to overcome that obstacle? And I think preferred reality conditioning is definitely a game changer. It shifts your focus from past limitations to more future possibilities. And you start to understand, okay, anything I don't know, I can't do, I can't figure out, I can't see clearly. How do I get help with this? How do I get around this? And then it starts to open up the future possibilities, because the more you start to overcome any limitation or any roadblocks, what happens is the picture of the future starts to become clearer. So this means it's going to help you create a roadmap, because you start to see things clearly for your business growth and the business. Make sense? So it conditions your mind to spot the opportunities aligned with your vision. So preferred reality conditioning is really accepting and embracing actually your reality of where you are to be able to move forward, but also understanding what's my current reality, but then also understanding what's my preferred reality of where I want to be, and actually understanding the roadblocks in between those two things, and understanding, okay, how do I get to my preferred reality condition of where I want to be, to where I am now, where to the world I might project, well, I'm already there, but actually I'm not. And that's where you've got to start having some honest conversations with yourself. You know, I'm speaking from experience here, by the way. Okay, where are you going on holiday this year? I remember when my first business was going bankrupt, and people would see me and say, oh my God, Passionate, you're doing such great things. I saw you on the radio. I've seen you all over the newspaper. The site looks amazing. I hear you've got new offices. How's it going for you? Yeah, it's really great, we're doing more brand partnerships. We're really up in the game. We're going to be setting up podcasts. We're going to be selling CDs and DVDs. That's how old I am. Selling DVDs and CDs. Oh, my children don't even know what a CD or a DVD is anymore. But I'm painting a picture of my life to someone that might generally be asking, because that's my preferred reality. My current reality is that I don't even know where I'm going to go tonight to pretend I'm chilling out, so I'll just get something to eat there, so I haven't got any money. You've got debts arising, your phone's constantly being chased, letters are coming in through the door, but to the outside looking in, I'm doing great, I'm just fine. And I think there's many of us like that. And I also, those of you that know me know that I think there's power in vulnerability. So understand what your preferred reality is, okay? Understand what your actual reality is, and what are the things that you really need to do. Like, accept them, embrace them. Okay, and stop thinking about the past. Stop thinking, oh, this is what's happened in the past. This is what I've done to myself before. This is why I'm never going to amount to nothing. They told me I wasn't going to amount to nothing. Get rid. So preferred reality conditioner is definitely a game changer. So what you want to do is craft a clear vision for your growth. So think preferred reality for your actual business is like your GPS. So you input your destination, your vision. It gives you your daily decisions and actions to get there. This would be great if you could actually have a software like this. And it will guide your daily decisions and actions for you to get there. And, you know, ready to program your success in that GPS. And it's going to create that roadmap for you. You know, so steps to creating your vision is imagine your business 5 years from now, even if you're at ideology stage. Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Answer these questions, ladies. Get specific. I want you to define your products, customers, and your revenue goals. You know, do the maths. You know, in the digital world, oh my gosh, it's a dream compared to how it used to be traditionally. You can literally say, okay, so you've got 3 main goals to market your business. Okay, so you could literally say to yourself in terms of getting forward, I want people to know who I am, so I need to reach 1 million impressions. From those 1 million impressions, I want to convert at 5%, and I want to make sure that those people that see me will now opt in to what I'm offering, and I'm now collecting leads. I'm going to keep those leads warm by making sure that I keep connected to whoever my client is, and from those, 3% of those, I'm going to, 5% of those leads, 2% of that, I'm actually going to convert into buying my products. And this is where the maths and the personal development come into play. They go hand in hand. I don't like this, okay? But, you know, define your products, define your customers, you know, use metrics, use actually numbers, be specific in what you're asking for, and understand this is what I've got to do to get to where I'm getting to. Because now you're going to understand how many people do I need to get in front of, how many of those people do I need to get them to sign up to something I'm doing to get them into my email marketing list, how many of those in my email marketing list or those that I come into contact with in other different channels and communications do I need to buy from me to get to this point in year 1, and in year 2, what do I need to do? And you need to understand what is it I want to achieve at the top of that, and start getting specific. Make no apologies, and start getting your head around the strategy, around the math, and around the technology. Okay, you know, connect emotionally with your vision. You know, it's always good to be other people centered. Most of us want to create something because we want to make change, especially in the Black community. That will power you. When I was talking about motivation, that will motivate you to know that you can contribute into helping change those around you. You know, those within your community, those are part of your race and your culture. And there is no other group that's got a history as a history like ours. Won't get into that. You know, write it down. Words are powerful. Capture your vision in vivid detail. Really, really important. Journaling is so important. You know, align daily actions. Ensure every task moves you closer to your vision. So it's really important that you craft a clear vision for growth, especially this year in 2025. So what you want to do is have mental rehearsals. So I just want to give you some tips on how do I use mental rehearsals, because they tell us about visualization, but no one really tells you how to do it, because they make it sound like it's just natural, it just comes to you. We are taught communication. We are taught how to speak English. We are taught how to communicate from when we come out of our mother's womb. Okay, so this is a really good technique. You know, learn visualization and figure out what visualization works for you. Is it more meditation? Is it like having to see something play out so you understand how does it play out? Many of us are in a playing ground that we don't come from. Many of us want to enter into a playing ground, have a successful business, and we don't know what this environment's like because we don't come from that. You know, our parents didn't come from that environment. There's no one to school us. So sometimes we need to go looking for the visual aids to actually be able to visualize, especially in our community. You know, practice the scenario. Practice the scenario of opening up that app and seeing the figures in your bank account. Think about what your app looks like, who you bank with, how it works, transferring money. You know, think about winning a client. You know, think about winning a client that you have priced at the right amount for you, that you've received that job based on them thinking that you are the right person for the job because you've got excellent skill set and you're good at what you do. You know, have positive affirmation. You want people, resources and tools around you that give you positive affirmation. Make sure you have a team of cheerleaders. Michelle Obama often talks about her kitchen table. And her kitchen table is about having different people around her kitchen table that serve her. I've got different people around my kitchen table as friends and business colleagues that are there for different elements of positive affirmation and emotional management. Make sure that you've got a tool for that emotional management. It's so funny when I hear people say, oh, I don't need a therapist. I would love to have a therapist. I would love to sit on someone's couch every single week and just go, ah, and let it all out. I think that'd be great for my emotional management. So these are some of the tips that you can use. And don't forget the book that I told you about, Miracle Morning. So scripting your business growth. There are key elements of preferred reality conditioning aligned to script. So vision alignment is one. Every script should reflect your overall business vision. Keep saying the same thing. Those of you that understand branding might come from a branding background. Branding is all about consistency. It's all about messaging and consistency, down to the tone of voice of the content, what font you use, what colours you use. You want to be actually doing the same thing. Does that make any sense with your vision? You need to make sure that when you're visualizing that vision alignment, it's the same thing over and over again, until eventually it becomes reality. Within your business, you want to stay customer focused. The same way I'm talking about yourselves, you need to have that same attitude when it comes to your customers. For you to be successful in business and selling, and especially selling online, where we don't have that human-to-human contact anymore, it's all done through technology, our phones, laptops. You really need to make sure the same attention you're giving yourself, the same things we're speaking on this lesson, this masterclass about, you actually need to address the needs and desires of your target audience to somewhat of the same level. The better you know who your audience is, it means that you're going to be able to find people that need your product and service, not want, need. It's a direct solution to a problem that they've got, okay? And if you can understand them to a really psychological level, it means that you will connect, they will get to know, like and buy you, trust you, and they will buy from you again and again and again. So taking all of this is really important, especially when it comes to content marketing, because you really want to understand who your audience is. And for many of us that sell digital products and, even e-commerce consumer products, if women are your audience, understanding their desires and their needs, what they might have gone through, what their common denominators are, what they're dealing with in life, is going to be a sure way for you to be able to produce content that's really going to help your customer go from one customer touch point to the next in your sales funnel within your business and marketing plan. Positive language, use words that inspire and motivate. We don't know wishy-washy words of maybe, could be. Be intentional. Someone wants to tell you, you're loud, you've got a big ego, you're not very humble. Stop them. Simple as. Because you need to have positive language and you need to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Okay, be action-orientated, include clear, actionable steps. Be intentional. And have flexibility. You've got to allow room for adaptation as you grow. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. But I can assure you, your plan will never go according to plan. But having that basis of a plan means now you can adapt, you can pivot, and you can move forward because you had that plan in the first instance. Okay, so preferred reality conditioning in action. Let's look at Sarah's success story. So Sarah, a black female entrepreneur, she's used preferred reality conditioning, thinking about, where is her preferred reality? Where's my reality? What's the bridge in between that? What do I need to do to transform? So to transform her small boutique business into a $3 million e-commerce empire, her vision was eco-friendly, size-inclusive fashion, guided her actions. So from daily visualization to customer-focused script, in just 3 years, she's become a leader in sustainable fashion, providing the power of clarity and consistency. It does work. But you've got to embrace and understand what that preferred reality is, what your current reality is, and how you're going to bridge the gap to get to that, and make sure that those scripts and those actions are consistent, okay, and they're in line with where you want to be. And it is powerful. You don't even realize it's happening when it is happening. So just to make sure we're on the same page about preferred reality conditioning, I would like you to consider this statement. Okay, preferred reality conditioning focuses more on analyzing past failures than on visualizing future success. So PRC focuses more on analyzing past failures than visualizing future success. And I think we all know that is false. But these are the things that we know are false, but we're still doing. And that's why I kind of put them in here as well. So coming up to the end of today's session, any questions anybody's got, anything anybody wants to share afterwards, please simply come off of mute and share, or you can put it in the chat. Okay, so I want to look at the profit multiplication framework. This is where we're going to jump back into business and jump back into maths, but you're going to see how mindset, goal setting, personal development, having the right mindset directly impacts this. So the profit multiplication framework really focuses on 3 interconnected areas that really drive your success. So the 3 areas are customer growth. So the first thing that you want to do, once you understood and you've got a product or a service that you've tested, you know there's a demand for it, you've got a really great brand, you've done all the foundation stuff, what the next thing you really want to do to be able to get to that point of being financially free, being where you want to be, and having a business that can really provide you with the income to have all the things that you want, and possibly even be a legacy business as well. You know, here at Women in Digital Business, we're all about building communities. Communities will buy from you for the rest of your life. Audiences are one-night wonders. There's a difference between the two of them. So 3 key areas that we really want to focus on in terms of the profit multiplication framework is customer growth, attracting and retaining the right customers. So understanding your value proposition, which is just simply the way you package your business. You're selling what your business gives to someone or a business. You're not selling the actual service or product. Okay, so in terms of attracting and retaining the right customers, you need to understand and know who your customers are. And it's not just knowing who your customers are, you need to know who your target audience is. But within your target audience, you've got a number of segments. So if I was selling bags to mums, you know, what mums am I selling to? Is it mums with newborn babies that need a nappy bag? Is it mums that are doing the nursery run while on their way to work and they're working mums? Okay, so it's really important that you understand the segments of what makes up your target audience. And then it's really important to understand who they are and if you are actually solving a problem they've got, because that's your right customer. And that's the customer that you need to get on a much more personal, deeper level. The things I'm speaking about to you today, the things that we know we all need to be doing around goal setting and not procrastinating, is the same way that we need to look at our audience like they're human and think about their vulnerabilities, what are they going through. And when you can do that and you mix it in, you will be able to grow your customer base to really great, amazing heights. Okay, next area is revenue boosting. So increasing income through smart strategies. Black female entrepreneurs in particular, and I've always suffered from this and I've gotten better at it, but there's a lot of room for improvement. Pricing. You know, we always want to price undervalue and under market, feeling like that's the way that we're getting chosen and picked, that's the way that we're be seen, that's the way that we want to grow. And we particularly do it when we're dealing with corporate clients and we're dealing with maybe more wealthier clients or clients that I think psychologically maybe we can't relate to. I think maybe that's what it could be for me. You know, as I grow older, I'm more and more comfortable with my own skin. I know who I am. If you don't like me, you don't like my business, you're simply just not my customer. Simple as. Or you're not my friend in a personal setting. So you want to think about revenue boosting. It does start with pricing, and it also starts with thinking, how do I leave money? How am I leaving money on the table? You leave money on the table by not using data to track what you're doing in business. Because if you was tracking it, especially in this day and age where Big Brother's watching you, I've got Alexa over there, I've got Google Assistant over there, they're all listening to me. You know, we live in a world where data is just so accessible and we can track everything. Okay, so it's really important that we're boosting revenue by understanding what are we good at, what are we not doing so good at, and making sure we optimize what we're doing. And digitalization makes that possible. That's going to boost your revenue as well as having the right prices. And also with your customer life cycle, thinking what other things could I be giving or helping my end user with? Okay, you know, upsells, downsells, cross-sells, you know, joint partnerships. These are all things that will boost your revenue. You can have 10 customers and you could sell them something else, put your prices up and do multiple things to boost your revenue without even having to bring in a new product or service. And profit maximization, just creating sustainable growth and compounding results. Like, how do we maximize what are we doing? And that's when you've got the ability to really look at your business and be able to see the bottlenecks and also be able to see the profit maximization. So the multiplier effect is just small improvements in each area which leads to significant growth. The more you get to know your customer, the more you refine your messaging, the more your content connects with your audience, is the more that you're going to grow and attract more people, because you're going to understand who your audience is. Revenue boosting, not leaving money on the table. What else could you be doing? What are the digital strategies that you're using where prospects are falling through the cracks and they're not getting to the next touch point of whatever marketing strategy within your customer journey that you've put together? And this is why strategizing is so important. And just that maximizing profit. One of the things definitely for this year, for 2025, Women in Digital Business will be doing, which, maximizes profit for us, but also the people we're working for, are brand partnerships. With more, you'll achieve more. So I just want you to think about the profit multiplication, what happened there, and just really think about, let me look at my strategy and where am I leaving money on the table? Okay, where have I got missed opportunities? So strategies for customer growth. Growing your customer base is more than attracting new faces. It's about building a system that constantly brings in quality leads, converts them into loyal customers and keeps them engaged. So you really want to make sure you develop your customer-focused scripts for yourself. Think about the scripts that your end users are going through. Use mental rehearsals to prepare you for customer interactions. What I mean by that also is that I don't know why within marketing, there are 5 main functions of any business. You've got marketing, you've got accounts and finance, you've got human resources, operations and logistics, and you've got technology, IT. They're your 5 core divisions of any business. And I don't know why sales just seems to sit in no man's land, and sales is actually a part of marketing. All of what we're going through today is also going to help you to sell. It's also going to help you to be able to connect with your end users, whoever your tribe is more, that will bring you more opportunities. So use that mental rehearsal to prepare for customer interactions. Track and analyze customer data to refine your strategy. If you're tracking everything you do, we track everything. Every URL on our email list has got its own UTM, so we know what pages that you're clicking on, from which emails. All of our social media is tracked. We have a whole funnel map, and for every touch point within our marketing plan, we measure how many people are going through it, how many people go through one thing to the next. What are we not doing right? We're constantly doing surveys. We love feedback. Even today, any feedback that you've got, we want it, we love it. Don't think that, I don't want to be too negative. We want to hear it because we want to be better. We want to grow. And that's where you want to be. And now that you can track everything, the data is going to take you to that next level. So just quickly as we wrap up, revenue boosting techniques. Increasing revenue isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. So actionable steps is just about, enhance your customer base. We've spoken about this already as a recap. Upselling and cross-selling. McDonald's do it so well. You buy a meal. Would you like to super large that? No, man. Would you fancy an apple pie? They're now downselling me to their saver menu. Sidestep. Oh, is the person with you? Would they like something? Upsell, downselling, cross-selling. Implement small manageable steps. Sometimes we always want to go for the big thing. That is definitely me. I'm the bull in the china shop. You just want to implement small strategies that can make a huge difference. Just like personally, what we spoke about in the first part of this class, little by little, you'll build your power. It's about the little steps. And in business, it's the same thing. Little, small strategic steps can really give incremental improvements. Utilize that vision setting. Align a revenue goals with your long-term goals. The maths is important, ladies. It really is. So maximizing profits isn't just about cutting costs. It's about creating a multiplier effect where small improvements in customers, revenue, and margins just compound into sustainable long-term growth. Okay, and that's why we always say, what's the big thing? What's the big why? Because really, that is what you're working towards. That's what you're working towards in the long-term growth. But there's a whole load of small things that need to happen. And I think sometimes when we reset our minds for that, it happens, you're prepared for it, you expect it. And you've also put that time element in. In the day and age that we live in, I think we feel so backed up against the wall in lives or jobs that we don't like as we're transitioning, or businesses that are really stressful and giving us a headache because they're not giving us what we want, because we want everything now. We have to have a plan, we have to have a strategy, and we do need to have those smart objectives on it. So, actionable steps to take away is just focusing on profit margins. Use the multiplier effect to really compound growth. Think about the strategies that you could be using where you're not leaving money on the table. Do you know your customer really, really well? Is your value proposition aligned to your customer? Are you using the data to track everything to understand where you could be doing better to make sure you can grow across customers, revenues and profits? And that's what the multiplier effect really is. So overcoming, growth challenges, common challenges, procrastination and lack of focus. What can you do? What books can you get? What apps? What can you feed your mind with? Setting overly ambitious goals without an actual clear plan. You know, you just want to go to this big thing, but you don't have a clear plan how you're going to get there. You know, the amount of time, seriously, I think like God was laughing with me a lot of time. God's great all the time. But I definitely know for me, I would set these big ambitious goals. And sometimes I think he must have been listening to me thinking, okay, we can do that, but we need you to make some small steps here to work towards it. I can't kind of just drop this big thing in your lap. You've got to have that clear plan, because quite often we do feel like, you know what, by God's grace, I'm a good person, I'm going to get through it, I'm going to get there in the end. I stayed in that room for a very long time. And what I didn't understand is that he was training me. Okay, God was putting me through lessons and putting me through things and what brought me here today. I just couldn't see it at the time. At the time, I just kept waiting for this big break, thinking, boom, it's just going to happen in one. And it doesn't. It's small steps. So it's about balancing short-term actions with long-term vision. And just the strategies to overcome. Break big goals into small actionable steps, please, ladies. Use the mental rehearsal to stay motivated and focused. Any of you that know any great books, seriously, please make sure that you put it in the chat, comment. Sharing is caring. I'm always saying it. Okay, and regularly review and adjust your strategy really based on the results. So your path to success is definitely hanging out with us in the Women in Digital Business community. Thank you for everyone listening today, and definitely making sure you join our waitlist for the Empower Her program. The Empower Her program is a really great 12-week program, and it helps you to really put a digital strategy together for your business. Okay, for those of you that have got a community, you attract people online, you're having conversations online, even if you don't deliver your product or service online, it doesn't matter. You're networking, communicating, and you're finding leads online. Empower Her is really going to help you strategize and put a strategy together, to put together a digital funnel that's winning and it's going to change your life. It's a 12-week program. It's 2 hours every week, 1 hour of training, the other power of Q&A. You can either do it in person, not in person, online, in person with me directly, with a small group of people, or you can do it online with lessons, but you still get to join that weekly Q&A even if you do it online. So you've got the choice of doing it in 2 ways. It's broken into 3. Please do make sure that you hang out with us in the community. The community is new. We've built our own community in the back end of our website. So please do make sure that you use the community. You check out everything on offering. I urge you to follow us on YouTube, where we've got our Spotlight Hustle podcast there, which gives you loads of inspiration and motivation. Let me know what you thought of today's masterclass in the chat. If you're watching this and it's already gone live, we still want to hear your comments. If you've got any questions, keep putting the questions in there, even if you're watching this as a recording. And again, even if it's just you want to share something, sharing is very much caring.